Okay, so Beatrice has not been entirely doing well for a little while. She hasn't been eating for some reason, so I assume this was because she kind of was heading into a brumation and it was getting cold in our house. So I wanted to move her into here. So I went ahead and I took Darwin's enclosure and I moved it up here with that stuff. And then I set her up. I'm gonna set her up right down here. She was in like a tub that size, but it's just way too small. And I knew that. I was just trying to do this temporarily. And now I'm going to take this tub and I'm going to put it right here. And then I'll have that heat light there. And it's just generally way warmer in my room than anywhere else. And this light has a 4-foot UVB light on it. So she'll have UVB and everything. We have that is going to be the hide. I'm going to use dirt from there. And then I also just got a big amount of Eco Earth. So got like an absolute load of it. And I'm gonna break off one of those bricks and mix that into the soil because that's just topsoil and some charcoal and stuff. So I think those two things together, and then we have her bowl and everything. And I think just being in my room will be a whole lot better for her. So right now she's been in the iguana's cage just so she can stay warm during the day, but she needs a basking area. So my goal here is to get every single one of her, like the main, like the temperature and the diet, just everything correct, or like her environment completely correct, because it wasn't correct upstairs because it was too dusty. So that's an issue, and I need to figure that out with arid setups because like something about my soil is just like real dusty. So I need to make sure that's not a thing because I'm sure that's not good for her. So I don't want it to be moist, but I want it to clump up a little bit. So it'll probably be better to have a more like eco earth based substrate and whatnot. And then I don't know. I'm not sure what I'll do with her substrate upstairs. But anyway, this is the plan, and this is what I'll be doing. So I'm going to take the opportunity to do that now. So I think I'm going to get a bucket and do the Eco Earth next, and then I'll just get soil straight out of there. I just have some plants in there and stuff. But I'm going to use a lot of that soil. I want to give her like a lot of soil because I really want to see what she'll do with that. If there's not a whole lot of things obstructing her from digging, I'm assuming that she's going to dig quite a bit because she really likes to. So I want to give her that opportunity as well. So I'll be putting in a whole lot of soil. I just got this tub out of my garage. It was holding some stuff, so I switched out the tub that she was in, and I cleaned this one up. And then I just cleaned off the rocks and stuff that were in her enclosure. I'm going to put at least one rock down so then she can eat on it. Besides that, I don't want to obstruct too much of this area because this isn't like a huge tub or anything, but it is a decent amount of area. She's not like an adult or anything, but in the future she'll have like a properly sized enclosure. I definitely want to give her enough space because I've always kind of felt like I'm not giving enough space, and I don't like that. So I think I'm going to start with the Eco Earth real quick. Okay, so I took all 9 bricks that I had and I put them through the microwave. I put like 2 in at a time for 2 minutes because I'm kind of excessive about sanitizing materials before they come in my room. But here I'm just going to take a brick and put it in my bucket, and then it's been really nice that I can use my shower for like everything now. So I'll just bring the bucket into my shower and I will spray on some really warm water, and then this will expand, and I'll throw that into the tub, put in like most of that substrate. I'm going to grab out about 2 gallons worth, however much that is, quite a bit of it to use on a different project that I plan on doing for somebody, and then the rest will just go right into here and I can get everything set up. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. There's not a whole lot going on here. I'm hoping that the charcoal in here will keep it from the soil getting stagnant because I'm not doing any type of drainage layer because this isn't really a long-term enclosure, but not only because of that, but mainly I just don't, it would just be a whole lot of work to figure out a drainage layer for this tub. So I just, I want to get this done, and like I said, essentially it's temporary for however long that may be. Okay, so this is Beatrice's enclosure, and she's already figured out a way to find something wrong with it. So I need to fix that, and I'm not entirely sure how. So here we have the tub and everything, and then we have some slate for her to eat on, some slate for her to bask on, which she has been doing just throughout today, which is really cool. I did a smaller water dish, so then it didn't take up so much of her walking space, so she can get around here easier. I think that works really well. I added in some green. She didn't seem super interested, unfortunately, but again, she has been basking and stuff, which is good. She gets the proper UVB light, all the things, except her hide needs to be able to go in either way, which would be fine. I just move it this way. As you can see, it's not moved enough, and this piece is here. So I need to move the light, I guess, or I guess I'll just hang it up real quick, and then I will kind of try to fix this somehow by rearranging some things. Okay, so I believe this corrects the issue. So you might be wondering why I don't leave the light up like where it hangs. That's because the UVB is just not close enough there. So I've measured it down. So then in our basking area, she's getting like the proper UVB when she's there. But when it's hanging up, it's just way too far away. But I kind of just switched the hide around, and then I kind of rearranged everything with that. And now she should be able to get through the hide either way and be able to climb around the enclosure and do everything functionally like she should be. So I know it might seem weird why I have a big piece of wood in here, because it's kind of like obstructing where she can go, but I think it's better to have more for her to interact with. I don't know. And it's really helpful to be able to put the heat light on it, but other than that, it might just be kind of like a burden, so I might end up removing it. But I was hoping it would give her some cover, because I feel like just having no cover would be uncomfortable for her. So I'm not entirely sure, but you know, as she interacts with things and as she does stuff, I will kind of learn and be able to change things for her to better fit what she needs from, you know, just watching her and doing everything. Problem, which is very annoying, because I can only find one solution and I don't like it, but it's the only thing I can figure out. So to get this tub here, we had to move Darwin's tank. Darwin's tank was sitting here. So to move Darwin's tank, we had to move this tank somewhere, and it's been on the floor since then with that little light for it. And it was up here. Here's Darwin's tank. You see it's very large. It was sitting up here with this one, but then we turned that one on its side. We have Darwin's tank, we have the babies. That one doesn't fit up here anymore. So now we're stuck with it going somewhere. I don't want it just thrown on the floor because it looks real bad, okay? Like, it's just not good to just have something out in front of a stand, because that's not what stands are for. So I need to have it somewhere, and I want it to be here because it like fits perfect, like it's fine here. But it cannot have UV light, because while crested geckos can take UVB light, that's fine. The problem is that I have vitamin D3 in the feed that I feed the crested geckos. So the powder from Pangea has vitamin D3 in it, which is fine, again, but you don't want to like supplement vitamin D3 and do UVB at the same time. At least I don't think you do. So I need to figure out some way to make sure it has light, but not the light from this thing. Now, I like having this here because it gives light to the whole area here, right? And it's really nice, and I like it, but I can't have that because I can't have both at the same time. So the only solution I can see is to just put one of the normal bulbs back into here, so then there's two normal bulbs, hang that back up where it was, and then take this one, I have an 18-inch UVB for that, put that in it, and then just kind of set it up, and then it would be from like here to there. So it'd be like that area. So it'd hit the basking area, it'd hit the water bowl area, hit that, but it wouldn't hit this whole area like this is right now. So it wouldn't get this whole area, which is really annoying. So I was like, why don't I just flip them? So then it's closer, right? So the register's back there, so then this tank would stick out, which is too many inconveniences. It sucks. It all sucks. It's never easy. At this point, I'm contemplating just like screwing around with this until I can fit it up there. And I could, but it would just suck. I wouldn't like that either. Yeah. So it looks like I'm just going to have a shorter UVB thing on Beatrice's enclosure. which is unideal, as I've made very clear. Okay, so let's focus on the positives for a second. It looks a lot nicer. We can see this whole area is all very bright and everything. They have light. The tree has nice, good light. There's the trees down there have good light. It looks good, okay? I mean, it looks messy and everything, but somewhat naturalistic. I mean, we have a tortoise enclosure tree. It's kind of nice. And in that enclosure, and it opens and everything, which isn't uber inconvenient, you know. It does pretty well. Obviously, the main con is that this thing is not covering the entire area. Like, even like right here would be a lot better, but I'm just not gonna build anything to put it there. So it's just gonna rest here. So it'll reach over to that and everything. So it's good there. And I guess you could say a pro is that it's closer here. So if she's like around this area, and she's getting like really good UVB. And I wanted this to be a little bit closer than how it is, or at least like raise up the bottom a little bit, but I didn't exactly have that opportunity to do that. So this is kind of that. So I wish there was light here, proper lighting there, but again, I could even put the UVB in this, but it's not going to get to her, and it's not going to get to the gecko either, so that would be pretty pointless to waste the bulb like that. So this is how it is for now. I don't think that this is just going to slide off here as far as this. Now this is more slide-like, but if I get it to the right distance, then it's just not going to slide down. So even if sometimes she'll rock this around, see, it's going to slide up there. It's not going to slide down here. I don't think that's going to be an problem. And then the nice thing is, over here, I can adjust the light a little bit on that. So it was a little bit warmer earlier, and then I moved it away a bit because it was just getting pretty warm. This also produces quite a bit of heat, so that will, I mean the bulb doesn't, but just the fixture does. So, and if you were wondering, it can go like this. That's an option here, but then that's kind of like very inefficient. So even if I put it like right here, it would be over the basking area, which would be nice. You know, you want it over the basking area, and that's generally what you're looking for like turtles or whatever. But because this is a tortoise, I kind of expect more from it, and I wouldn't want to just have it over the basking area. And like I said, it's not as close as I'd want it either, so it's going to go more here, and I think that'll be all right. So that's that. Disappointing, but it works, and I guess that's good enough for now. Okay, so I think Beatrice has been doing better in my room. So here she is. She seems, I think I just woke her up. Yeah, I did. So she has been basking a ton, and I think she really likes the ability to bask under this heat light. And she's like laying there all the time. And I think that she's eaten the last 2 days, but I'm not entirely sure. It seems like food's missing, but it could have just kind of shrunken up from the heat. So we have fresh veggies in there today, and I'm hoping she's going to take some time to eat them. That would be really great. But she explored for a while. She kind of has stopped, and now she's just been like laying here, and she loves just sitting there and basking, which is, I think, really good. And she's getting the UVB light and everything, so that's good. But as you can see, right under her, she defecated, which is good. That's one thing. She's been defecating this whole time, and it's like normal looking, but I really hope that I can get her eating properly, because once I get her like aggressively eating, I mean like more like a normal tortoise would, where she's like, she goes for the food right away and stuff like that, I need to start supplementing her, because I've read like quite a few papers, and as far as tortoises go, it's really important to supplement them, which I guess I wasn't entirely aware of that. So once I know that she's eating greens, I'll start putting calcium supplement on them, so then she can build up a good, nice shell, or, you know, help with that. So that's kind of the plan with her, at least for the moment. Okay, so I think it's pretty obvious at this point that Beatrice has been eating, because the food's gone. So there's food scattered around, but I don't think that's from today. I think that's from past days. because when she walks around she generally scatters stuff, but there's definitely less food in here than there was, which means that she's eating it. So really what I think is that she just needed a good basking area and a warmer environment. So I think she just needed good basking. So the enclosure before was bad in some way. I think it was just too cold upstairs, but now since she's been in my room, it's a lot warmer in here, and she has her basking area and everything, and it's a lot easier to take care of her when she's in here because I can, like monitor and everything. So she will probably be staying in here somewhere. I don't know when I'm bringing Richard in here, but Richard will move in here eventually, and he's going to be in this spot, so I might have to move her. But for now, this seems to be working well. She's getting her heat, UVB, and she's eating now, which is really good, and she's been defecating, which is all good things, so that is very exciting. That was the goal of moving her in here, so I'm very glad I've gotten that situated. Okay, so I took all of the soil that was in the old tortoise enclosure, and I like sipped it, and this is all the dust stuff. So this is a bunch, it's like equivalent to the size of the rest of the soil, but it was like crazy dusty, and now it's not. If I would have done that when it still had that in it, it would be like it's just crazy dusty, which is not good for the tortoise. Obviously, there is still dust, but a lot of it is in there. So what I'm going to do is, because I still want to utilize this soil because it has lots of things that can decay in it, and that has lots of soil and charcoal, and it's like good stuff, but I don't want to use it for anything but Beatrice. So here's what I'm going to do. I also sanitized it again because there were isopods that somehow find their way in there, and now if they were there, then they're dead now. So here we have the plant. I'm just going to scoot out of the way. But over here we have the tortoise tub, and what I'm going to do is I'm kind of just going to bury all this soil, if that makes sense. So I will move this stuff. I don't do anything, but I'm just going to kind of dig up areas and then dump that soil and then kind of cover it back up with the normal soil, and I'm going to spray everything down because it's getting pretty dry in here. Not that she needs crazy humidity, I just don't want there to be a bunch of dust, and I think like a good misting a little bit every morning is pretty good because it kind of mimics like the dew. So that is why I'm spraying it down. So that'll be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you happen to, feel free to like it down below. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put in the comments below. And while I'm on concerns, I realize this enclosure is small for this tortoise. I very much realized that, and I want to put that in this video because I'm pretty positive people would leave comments saying I'm like torturing the tortoise. I know it's pretty small. I'm not entirely sure what my plan is for the future, but I will always be trying to get her into something bigger. But this is temporary, so just let me deal with it. It's too small. Anyway, if you feel like subscribing, go ahead and do that. Feel free to do that. I think that'd be great. And if you want to have notifications, ring the bell. It's your choice. You can go for it if you want. And have a fantastic day.